Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day here. And guys, we've got a fun one for you here in today's video. If you guys did not know, the Napoli has SAP secondaries, and it was recently buffed in this past update. You throw on a battleship commander with Porcupine as well as secondary inspirations, and you can get yourself a cruiser with 9.9 concealment and 9.5 SAP secondaries. You couple that with the crawling smokescreen that this ship has, as well as the complement of torpedoes, 283 millimeter guns with a semi-decent performance. You know, when you're not running a cruiser commander on a cruiser, the guns definitely suffer. However, they are not the most accurate as is, so memeing with the secondaries is a lot more fun. Now, we ended up playing this ship twice tonight on stream, and if you saw either one of those games, as this was the second one here, you will see that you are not the absolute most effective until you are. Now, of course, that is going to require meticulous positioning and some good team support, which we have in this game. However, I am not going to overhype this ship, as a lot of players will see a build like this or a video and think that they can go out and replicate it every single game, and that is simply not going to happen. However, playing these same strong OP ships game in and game out is just not the way that I want to play this game anymore. Don't get me wrong, with the release of the Hindenburg, and some nights when I feel like I have 8 people who couldn't operate a toaster oven on my team, yes, I am going to take out the Gdansk, the Des Moines, the Louisiana, things like that to feel a little bit better about myself. But triple divisioning in the Gdansk, the Louisiana, and those ships all the time just eventually gets a little bit boring for me. So in the meantime, if you are also getting bored and you by chance have the Napoli and the appropriate commanders, which we will throw up on screen, then you can have yourself some good meme-worthy potential. I do have to give a huge shout out to Mr. Ron B, who was actually featured in my Gnon Kraken video. Every time Ron shows up, it seems that I am easily able to obtain a Kraken, but here he is coming in the gearing, and at first I was a little ponderous of what he was doing, and that is only until I realized he was trying to set me a smokescreen to where I could farm. Now, most of you might be thinking, Aaron, you're running a secondary build. Why are you not YOLO rushing in? Well, there was a Z-52 in a division with that Brisbane, I believe. There was a Gdansk on the flank. And as you can see, there is an absolute metric shit ton of torpedoes headed in our direction. I probably could have timed a push a little bit better, but as it works out, we managed this situation fairly well, which just goes to show, even when you are playing a secondary build, even a meme secondary build, you don't have to blindly rush in, as typically that just lends to you sinking in a record time. But as you guys will see throughout this video here, you couple a little bit of patience with some decent maneuvering and situational awareness in a cruiser, which is what we preach all the time, and a touch of teamwork here from our destroyers, and we actually manage a pretty fantastic game. Now, we didn't set any damage records with this one, but it's a fun game that ends, of course, in the juicy Kraken medal, as I will obviously put on the clickbait here. But I think that the Napoli with this buff is definitely going to be one of the stronger cruisers at the tier. Attracted damage and survivability is honestly a very underrated trait. And while, you might not be setting the damage records or getting, mass casualties as we honestly should have with this salvo here, 4 overpens and 1 pen, on a broadside salvo at medium range. But regardless here, like I said, the Napoli I think is one of those underrated cruisers where it's very tanky, it has decent guns, torpedoes, and a good armor scheme to where you can put yourself in good positions there. But with the recent buff to the secondaries, I'm trying to think of other builds that we can run. If you have any in the comments down below, feel free to drop them. But we're going to leave the rest of this video to the live comms here. You guys have a great day, man. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace. How am I spotted? There's a DD. Yeah, the Z's in the cap. Well, dude, I mean, what do you think's gonna happen?
Roger.
The Z's in the cap. I like how when I play this, I like how when I try to play this boat, it's just my team just chokes down 18 inches, dude. I should have just rushed in blindly in open water.
À tous les bâtiments. Demande d'appui feu. Cacciatorpediniere nemico individuato. Ho bisogno di dati. Negata.
Abbiamo distrutto un incrociatore nemico.
Siluria dritta. Siluria dritta. Palla nello scafo, imbarchiamo acqua velocemente. Problema risolto, signore.
How is he not fucking dead?
Allarme incendio.
Abbiamo distrutto un incrociatore nemico.
Siluri dritti di poppa.
Avvistata corazzata nemica. Demande d'appui.
Siluri dritti di poppa. Rilasciata cortina fumogena. Siluri dritti di poppa. Siluri a poppa. Siluri a dritta. Siluri dritti di poppa. Siluri a profondo. Palla nello scafo, imbarchiamo acqua velocemente. Problema risolto, signore.
Ricevuto.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
A tutte le unità, concentrare il fuoco sul bersaglio. A tutte le unità, segnalo la posizione di un bersaglio strategico. Siluri dritti di poppa.
La battaglia terminerà tra 5 minuti.
I got you, you son of a bitch. Please, one more secondary, please!
Abbiamo affondato un cacciatorpediniere nemico. Incrociatore nemico distrutto.
Ritirata. Attenzione, supportate quell'obiettivo.
Attention, support that target.
Generatore di fumo avviato. Rilasciate coordinate. Caccia in volo.
Requesting fire on the designated target.
Incrociatore nemico distrutto.
Nice work. Nice work. Nice work.
And there she blows, ladies and gentlemen. Kill number 5 here with the option to get 2 more, but unfortunately it looks like the Jinan either quit or lagged out, so we won't have to worry about him. But I was just sort of sailing around making sure that we don't throw this game, trying to protect our destroyers. A massive shout out to those two. You can see that both of them probably had about 1,000 health combined. Ron also gave me both of his smoke screens, which came in clutch. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this if you're a destroyer player unless you know the person. Ron knows me and he knows I was going to use them. So, or if you communicate it. I've had a few games recently where people have been on mics and we've communicated, some support there. But a massive shout out to him. I guess he stole the game from me here and then he's given me one. But we're going to show the end here as we sneak up on this Z. I have no idea what the Z was doing. He could have potentially killed both of the enemy destroyers and given his team somewhat of a chance, but he comes around the corner here as we manage to connect shells on him and get ourselves the Confederate. But a nice little crack in there with the Confederate, a 2773, was as well as the close quarters expert there. So just a fun game overall, highlighting the Napoli secondary build there. But that was a fun game. I hope you guys enjoy that. Here was our build that we were running. I love you guys, man. Have a great day. I'm out. Peace.